exhibition takes its title from Pond Near the Field from one of Rimzan's work, which is also in the exhibition, which is a poetic evocation of the landscape of Kerala. And also at the same time, it refers to a place within a place, a setting, a social space, or a resting spot. So it speaks of magical stories of nymphs and ghosts at the same time, and also perhaps utopia. This exhibition layers these suggestions of a place with specificities. Without further ado, I'm just going to introduce Madhusudan and Rimzan, who we are very glad are here with us today, who will be in conversation with each other and respond and expand on these ideas from their own positions and engagements. We all know, very well aware of their biodatas. So I'm just going to cut through this and talk about the recent exhibitions. Uh, Madhusudan presented this work, the Marx Archive and the Penal Colony, recently at the Venice Biennale and also at the Kochi Mizras Biennale. His filmography includes Bioscope, Razor Blood and Other Tales, which is also showing here. History is a silent film. And his films have won many special jury awards and national film awards at various important film festivals and have been screened at various films, including MoMA, New York. Rimzan also has exhibited widely, and his works have been part of several important exhibitions. And namely, we know 7 Young Sculptors in 1985, which was a result of a Kasoli Art Center camp, in which Krishna Kumar was also a participant in Madhusudan as well, and 100 Years of Indian Art at National Gallery of Modern Art, Second Asia Pacific Triennale, Edge of Desire, Recent Art in India, Subterranean Body Cities, citing contemporary culture in India, curated by Geeta Kapoor at the House of World Culture, Berlin. Thank you. Over to you.
So this is, as I told you, 1997 it started. And I read a story of Hernando Teles. It's a Mexican story by Hernando Teles. It is called Just Lather, That's All. It's about a barber and a customer, the relationship between the barber and the customer. So barber comes and sit for a shave. The customer comes and sit for a shave, and the barber is get into a dream. So that story connects me to like Kerala political scenario, like it happened in before 1991. That all started in 1970s to ended up in 1991 or something. A lot of activities were there that turbulent, the so-called Marxian kind of all kind of political activities. And this story is, I decided to make a film on this story. That is what we see it here, like Razor, Blood and Other Tales. So then slowly that I started making sketches. That I always like when I make films, I make storyboards, like small sketches and kind of film strip like that. And it is evolved something like a dark drawing, which is connect the whole the period that 70s and things like that. And then I brought out like a lot of this thing from different sources, like for instance, like Goya's etchings, that is Capricos, and all that, like 4 series like he made, Disasters of War, and one more that I don't remember that. So these are like just quotations from those series of etchings, which I used in this. For you can see that those generals and all that, like having caps, and that they're like in black background and all that. So these are all one side that is there, and second thing is that there are some films that which I refer to. That is from Eisenstein's Ivan the Terrible for one major film which I I also used for Ivan the Terrible. That is, I don't think it is. It's in 1940s or something. That film. That was his final, last film. After the third, I think there are three parts of the film, and the last part after that, he died. And during his the that making of that film, and he had to encounter with Stalin's, all kind of atrocities and all that, and that's how that is maybe like that is one of the reasons that he that death happened, like he died by heart attack or something. So like that, like there are various sources. Like what I'm trying to say is various sources. Like I've taken elements from these books and films and like art even like like Goya and all that. Goya and other artists also like I've taken sort of elements from them. These are 90 drawings, and I added more drawings into it like later. Like recently also, like I added some few drawings to that, and made another, and planning to make another film on this series of drawing and series in the same series like called Marx Archive. That is a general idea of the of the of the work, and I'll give it to Ramzan to talk.
For me, is that it is very difficult for me to talk about this work because it's you can see that my works from mid 80s to maybe mid 90s. I mean, it is here almost a span of 10 years of more than 10 years of work is here, representing work is here. So I cannot just I don't want to talk any work on a particular work or anything because it's not possible. Each work is created in a particular situation and it evolved in that response to that particular situation. So it is not I think it's not necessary to talk about that particular thing. But in generally, if I talk about my drawings, the one thing what I most interested in is that in India generally artists tended to tell a story. I mean, we are perhaps more interested in listening to stories actually. So each artist actually trying to say some stories. That is a kind of tradition we have with our modern art or contemporary art. Contemporary art, of course, maybe it's kind of taken a deviation from that, but still we can say that there is a story or there is something narrating something. So my encounter with the contemporary art is that it's purely a visual medium basically. If you try to tell some story, and maybe that is the most weakest part of it. I mean, because it gives your focus from the visual to some narration or something, some word. I mean, wording actually. Perhaps our uh, traditional art, perhaps more based on these stories because the mythological stories or that kind of thing. I mean, religious themes when they use. So for people, it's already know that that story is there already. So when Ramayana, when Kathakali is performing, then everybody know that story. So then the story is no longer important there because of the performance, the actor how improvise it. That is more important in it. The same way, all kind of kind of folk art also when they narrate a story and people can relate to the kind of mythological theme or stories associated with religion or something. But in when we come to modern, or when you come to a secular platform, there isn't such stories actually. We have to express our experiences. We have to express our experience through visual terms, through purely visual terms. For that is a for an artist, it's a biggest challenge actually, how to do it. And then again, uh, one of the human traits, I mean, is that we enjoy many things like music, poetry, and all kind of, I mean, this even religion also maybe perhaps part of our genes. So it is, everybody is respond, I mean, kind of receptive to that kind of experience, religious experience. So the painting and sculpture is also fall into that category of traits, a human trait. So we are actually able to respond to visual stimulus, visual information when you get from painting or sculpture. So my focus is I am coming more coming to that area of how visually it can communicate it. So in my drawings, I have taken certain things like a mandala or a circular shape, so that when you see a mandala circular shape, it's an enclosed space. So it gives you more a kind of protection or warmth, because if you are standing on a open space, so you will be more vulnerable rather than if you stand in a corner, you will be more comfortable. I mean, sort of thing. So each space has sort of meaning to that. It's not only visual, but psychologically, we are actually get that kind of feeling. The same way, a closed chest or a box, then we have a curiosity what is inside in it. Not only that, when you see something closed, then we may reflect that it is our inside. I mean, there is an inside, and so these kind of things are also a footpath. You can see some of the drawings. There is a footpaths are there. So footpaths are actually leaves human presence. When if you look at in villages and people walking or animals walking, and then there will be a path being created. So that gives a presence of humankind, or there is a the poetic feel is that. So you bring that thing into it. The same way house also. So if you go to a city and you don't have to stay somewhere, and then you will be sort of a trouble actually. But there is a house, there is a protected space. You feel more comfortable actually. You feel more poetic. I mean, it's a poetic healing thing is with all these images. Even a bird's nest, you see there you can see that roundness is there. Even Van Gogh's paintings, that things are there. So I bring that poetic kind of images from the landscape, ordinary landscape. For instance, in Kerala, there are a lot of coconut trees are there. So if you travel in train, you can see that in the coconut trees around the circular thing, they open up for putting, fertilizer or something, so that round things will be there. Then the ponds will be there, and steps will be there, footpaths will be there, small huts will be there. So these are the things. Whatever I said earlier, you can see everywhere in it. So then I put that things into my, these are populating in my world of drawings and things like that. And also I happen to I was kind of looking into how to create poetic images, because I explained I may come back to that, but how to go deeper into the poetic experiences that once I read Martin Heidegger. So he was saying that the poetry is created because he was analyzing the language, and he was categorizing the language, the structure of the language, analyzing the structure of the language, and he said there is four categories of words in the language, any language. One area is always deals with the heavens. The other area deals with the earth. The heaven is there and earth is there. The other two is that one is mortals and the divine. So these four triangles are there, four corners are there in the language. So every word actually either denoting to these four areas of the concept, beliefs. So once you put this opposite thing into the other, once you bring the earth into the heavens, then automatically the language will get connected to the other two. It is a four. So then that means that word reveal it's the truth. The truth. It is detaching from the ordinary use to a totality and wholeness. It can achieve that. So the same way in visual language also we can play with that. So we bring the earth to the heavens, the stars on the sky. The stars when reflects on the pond, there the earth and the sky meets together, and the twilight of the day. There is no day or light, so dark. Light or darkness. The twilight of that moment, you feel that you are in the you experience a cosmic experience. You have a feel of totality, the wholeness. So we identify with that immediately, the wholeness actually. You identify the mortals and the divine, the heaven and the earth. So then we feel, as I said earlier, it's more gives you a solace or or a consolation of from the distress. It gives it's a healing touch to the work. So I thought that the work of art is something like that. When you see something, it gives you some kind of consolation, kind of touching. Healing. So the healing is so it heals your distress actually when you feel that. So it make you become part of the world, the part of the cosmos. Maybe once you consciously or unconsciously, once you see the work, you may get that kind of feeling. Maybe somebody will say it's all spiritual and what is the politics in it. So my politics is that you know this is a human trait actually, because experiencing this thing. So we have to reach the people. The human aspect is central to any politics. Otherwise, there is no politics in it. So, idea of politics means it's not always taking a revolution in the sense taking pistol or violence or anything. That is not the idea of revolution. Maybe that revolution in maybe 1 century ago it might be like that, but now we need actually a revolution. Is that you have to make the world more humane actually. So you can see it in that level in my work. Yeah, that is what I said. It is in the twilight area. Yeah. It can be in the early morning, when sun is not rising there. Slightly the light is there. Then the stars are there. That stars could be reflected in the pond, or the reverse the other way also. When it's like that. Maybe even I find that some of the traditional performances like uh, this not Theyyam, but the Padayani and all in South Travancore area, in my area. It's like these huge columns, big things, and these people standing around with torches in the sense with these coconut tree, palms, lighting, and so in that light, you see columns like a celestial speech creature standing in middle of you, and it's performing something like that. So this maybe the similar kind of thing I would like to actually create in it, something like that. don't think that we should take Marxism in a very conventional sense. Actually, but I feel like that. For instance, my understanding of Marxism is that even I remember one quote from Lenin. I mean, perhaps Lenin tried to explain what is Marxism. Marx never talked about that actually. Maybe later Mao maybe explained it in dialectical materialism. He had written extensively, but perhaps Lenin first talked about that, and he said it is something like concrete analysis of concrete reality. That is what Marxism is all about. That means it's very broad, actually, broad in the sense. Still, it is very valuable because in sociology or in medicine or any science and history and everything, one has to see the things in a very objective and in concrete way. It should be analysis. So it's a scientific approach. That's the only thing about that. Marx did that exactly. So Marx did in mid it's 90s that he did. So that is at that time it was valuable. So now the contemporary Marxist also has to do it in explain our contemporary society. We cannot actually hang on what Marx thought about India or anything. Maybe that will be something wrong actually. Even Edward Said and rejected Marx's idea about India and the relationship between British and the Indian. Marx said then British actually tried to liberate Indians. That is, they are seeing it as something like a patronizing or something. They call it the kind of Orientalist view actually. So they rejected that. So that kind of thing can be there actually, but still, what I said is Marx is very relevant in that, in a broad sense, to understand the situation. So now, till now, I mean, it is very relevant in that sense. So I feel that when we all started in, our education in, say, in late 70s and 80s and all, at that time, Soviet Union are not collapsed actually. So there was people had a lot of hope in that. So Marxism or the Leninism, they see it in that level. The kind of Russian Revolution was a model of that. But then after the collapse of it, we have to see it in a different perspective. Actually, how it. We cannot actually just reject that. Now the Soviet Union is collapsed. So there is no relevance of Marxism or anything. Marxism still has relevance in the sense I talked to earlier.
We studied in late 70s in Trivandrum. That is, we were all together. That Krishna Kumar, Rimson, and Alex Matthew, and Surendran Nair, and all of us.
Can you expose a little idiosyncrasies of each one? Can you do that?
Yeah, there are a lot of this thing like Krishna Kumar 1 year senior to me in one level, this, but it is like 6 months difference only, because the college started 6 months earlier. That is the time they joined. That was the first batch, and second batch was me and other. This thing. Rajan was not there. Rajan was junior to all of us. And Krishna Kumar was one of the this thing which I noticed. The first day, I was with him, and that from the first day, I was with him. I started drawing with him and all that kind of thing. Drawing was one of the basic thing which we all connected to. We were Surendran Nair, Rimson, and Krishna Kumar, and me, and everyone. We drew and discuss about drawing and painting and all that. And I clearly remember that there was one Picasso centenary time, one of the So we didn't have anything to do, and we thought like we'll do something. Four of us. One is Karunagaran. There is a portrait of Karunagaran there, drawn by Surendran Nair, and Alex Matthew, and myself and Krishna Kumar. And we decided to do posters for the this thing, because it is very cheap. Like you get you buy some few sheets of paper and just some ink or colors or like that. That's it. So we bought it and immediately produced a lot of drawings. Like 1 or 2 days, like we stayed in Krishna Kumar's brother's house, and we drawn this and all that, and it is highly appreciated. And one of the that is the day, like Roberto Matta, that Chilean artist came to Trivandrum. Roberto Matta, there's one Chilean surrealist painter who came to Kerala, and he visited Trivandrum College of Art, and he said that even Picasso never got this in his hometown, like this kind of response, like huge posters and all that drawn for him. It is a nice treat and all that. And like that, second thing, like there is a lot of enthusiasm from which Krishna Kumar generated, that time, because he is vigorous, and it's like always drawing and talking about the things like that and all that. And that is a time when he was doing some drawings, like which some of the drawings are here that time, 81, I think. And those drawings were, he was preparing for a show in the college premise that there is a small gallery there, and so he decided to do a solo show there with 100 drawings of his. So we like encouraged him and all that, and he finished the work and all that, and he decided to do the show, and he talked to a writer to do the catalog, or the write-up or something. And so then I went home, like from Trivandrum to Chalakudi. There is another place that which I stayed. So where I was staying there, and then I received a telegram from him, so saying that you come back soon and all that. So he fought with the writer he was engaged with, and he told me to write. So he didn't tell me that like what to write or anything and all that. He pushed me into his room and locked me up in the room and said that you come up with the writing. And I was not very well organized writer, or I don't know how to write like that immediately like that. But he somehow, like, he didn't allow me to come out, and I managed to do that one small piece of writing and all that. That was the catalog of this few of these drawings, like So like that lot of memories like I have about him, and with him, like, we've done many things. Like even same thing he done for the Calicut. We had a big show, like Radical Painters and Sculptors Association. That when it was a second show, like first show like written by Anita Dubey, second show it is written by me. So that is a time that like all the group were there, and all started talking about like how to write and all that. Same thing happened, like many people withdrawn and all that. They said that we don't know how to write, and we are not in that. So I went to his house. So I went to his house and for to talk about the show and all that. So he was not there. He went to Karunagaran's house. He purposely done like that, like he organized it like that. When I come there, he will not be there, like that. So his mother told me to sit at the balcony in this thing, and he told her that you give him food and all that for this thing, and he will write the catalog. So that is the time I realized that again the same thing happened. I had to write. So that's how it is written, that that Calicut show catalog, and all that. It is like you can't say like it is something like very special about him. Like there's like all of us, but he's more like it's a very vigorous. Like while doing it, he's very powerfully, like he portray everything. Like that.
Question about drawing. of the group, how many of you ended up going to Baroda?
I think it is most of us, like, so I think 6, 7 of us, no?
How much of the drawing did you do in Kerala before going to the Baroda school?
We were actually the main thing is we don't have any money to buy colors and canvases and all that. Mainly we do it on like when the assessment and all that time, that we pour these drawings. We always do that live study in the classroom and go out in the afternoon, like, draw somebody's face or some hand or this thing like that on the pavement and everywhere, like we go and draw. And that is what we submitted, that because like acrylic and oil paint and all that is like, it is huge. It is very difficult to buy. So we decided to do like this way. Like that's why maybe one of the reason that that drawing become a powerful part of our art practice.
And not only that, I added to that luckily, we had got one of the highly talented, one of the best the painters in South India, A.P. Sandhanaraj. He came to college as a professor in the painting department. So he is basically a very good, sort of draftsman. And unlike other, art teachers, he every day he come to the classroom and he sit with us and he draw from the model. So it's a magic. He created always a magic, a kind of play around with the lines, the charcoal and all. And he's sort of frenzy. I mean, he do some sort of things every day and do the painting also. So he is a very unconventional person. Even he come with the drink. I mean, he drank something and he drew kind of. Not from him, but he is something like that. A very unconventional, person, and he is very lively, and his life is something like that. So that was quite an inspiration for us actually to do the kind of drawings. Sort of. Yeah, academic drawing in the sense, the beginning, from beginning onwards, he said that he was not interested in doing copying exactly the realistic kind of drawing. So he was kind of doing a kind of stylized, distorted kind of drawings, the big heads or distortions, with stylized drawings. Yes. So we are very familiar with that kind of thing from the earlier. But we never imitated him because his way of things are something else.
Very distinct style of his. Like his style can't be imitated because it is very distinct and
But we heard stories that you were protesting against the curriculum and teachers over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was later. That was in the 3rd year or 4th year.
Yeah, that is true because the college, when every government institution is like that, and when they started the institution, there was nothing actually because they just put a new board there. Because earlier it was a school of art, and then they turned into a higher education institution, and they put the College of Art name, but they couldn't create post there. They couldn't bring teachers there. There wasn't any library there. Even library is just a bundle of Studio International magazines. That also we got it as a gift from the British Council. It's an old issues from 50s to 70s. So that is something quite interesting because these magazines, from 50s to 70s means these 20 years. It's covered, all this avant-garde, Western art in it. So we go through that magazines, So we are familiar with all kind of things in that. But apart from that, the library was in there, and it just started building up something small in a small scale, small way. And they were not able to conduct examinations, nothing. So some of the students started sort of an agitation, and it went violent actually. In fact, I was not actually involved in that. I was sitting there somewhere, but then it got sort of lost the control, and it became sort of violent thing. Then it's something like a karavo something kind of thing. So teachers were there, and some people went to the office, and some students, and they pull out the file and all. They started firing. Firing these files and all. So and then pumping water inside towards the office and all. Nobody was there to control them. There was no leaders there actually. So it got a very bad kind of impact in the society, because it's it's very newspapers which gives a very bad name to that. It went very bad. So the college almost closed down, and then we had to reorganize things for an agitation to reopen, and some of the students are being suspended from the college. So we asked them to take them back and start again. So it's actually take a really kind of struggle actually. We have to do or die thing. We have to do it actually. So that is the way actually the things turned up. So through that process, actually, we learned a lot of things, because we couldn't maybe learn anything from the inside the college, that kind of thing, because we got to have a greater interaction with the general public, and even journalists, and other media, and then even politicians, students, leaders. So we were communicating to them, and then this feedback, and then even general public also. In public is coming, and they're also got involved in it. So it is really a sort of learning process. Through that, I think maybe that learning process, we got more into Marxism, or left literature, or maybe that is added to as a masala to that, to get more closer, more closer to understand the structure of the society, where we live, and what kind of society we live in, and all. We got much more closer look at the things. What I find is that in Kerala, till now, it's not there is no any single artist actually made a career. Sort of a successful thing in Kerala, except maybe Raja Ravi Verma. He may be from the royal family, so it is. So at that time, there wasn't any artist actually made a career, a good career. So people always think that the art is something the useless thing. It's not any function in the society, and it's something like that. And then also still they have the notion that art students are they're doomed to fail actually, because there is no hope in it, because they cannot make any living or success through that. That's the kind of impression is that. And also there is the notion that why should one study art? Is there anything to study, learn art? Because it's all with the hand. So you learn some skill, So what is in it? You can learn it from 6 months, to draw a cow or a flower or something like that. So what is in it actually? Even some top bureaucrats think in that way. Why should we need a degree course in, fine art? Is a kind of thing. So then I feel that the whole attitude towards art students is something like that, and so we feel something already we are out of this society. The society might be seeing that these people don't know how to live. They are living in an utopia or something somewhere, something like that. Perhaps that is something we have to resist actually. We have a started understanding the structure of society and the values they have. So how they manipulate things, the politicians, how they manipulate the everyday, how the in the house, within the house, how things are being done. So all these things are open up. So it helps with the Marxism is a tool to understand the society much more in a correct way. Maybe perhaps that gives a different perspective towards even art also, because in art also, art in the stems, I find that at that time the major presence of contemporary artists from Chennai, I mean Cholamandal artists. So Madhu and everybody responded very sharply that, and because it's all to do with more formalistic exercise. It has nothing to do with the real life. They don't care about that. Something. Even K.C.S. Panikar is like that. I mean, I felt. So they were talking about Sri Chakra. They were talking about Brahma Sutra. That kind of thing. It has nothing to do with any life around you. And then you look at other artists also in the other movements also. They are also more interested in formal things, formalistic, analytical. One painting you do and then repeating the same thing, within a different color or different format, and it's like that. Except perhaps Ram Ginkar, he did something very sort of earthy, very sort of rebellious kind of thing he did. But is an exceptional case. Otherwise, you cannot see anything, So there is a tendency to reject everything. I mean, we don't want to associate with that, and we don't want to do it that. So I think that is the way things. So that gives us a kind of bonding. I mean, we all share in that, kind of position in that. So that was a bonding. But again, it's not a. We are all individuals actually. The way I see it, it's different from what Madhusudan is seeing. He might be different things. So that kind of diversity, I mean, is actually within us. So we are fighting. We said it's not the thing, right thing, and they said and others are rubbish and all these things. So we fight against each other. It's like that. Yes. Not at all. That is what I was saying. I was actually, we all, struggling with the language, because we straight away rejected the thing. We don't want to associate with these Cholamandal artists. We don't want to associate with the progressives. We don't want to have the kind of things Shandini Gedan or whoever is doing it. Because, but then what is it? Then we come to we cannot actually. It is very difficult to construct a new language of art. It's very difficult. So we try different things. For instance, Krishna Kumar was doing. He never thought that it's a very big art or anything, but he was good in drawing this kind of thing. He keep doing it. So we are all appreciating this interesting, good. But nobody got any. We haven't got any kind of feedback from anybody else. So it's like that. The same way, I was also doing separate many.
And not only that, it is more into before Baroda period. There were like a lot of exercises, like that my drawing was not like this. It is completely different from the earlier drawing which I was doing. It was not dark like that. It was not this thing. The structure was different and all that. So it is if the what we learned from Kerala, that Kerala College of Art, that is what the process of drawing. Process of drawing in the sense like whatever we see around us, like we draw. Like for instance, a person sitting in front of me, like I just try to draw like that. So whatever you get, like when most of the Surendran's drawing done in cigarette cases and all that. So all those trying to evolve something, like trying to, because most of the drawing like which I had during the Kerala time, this thing when I was studying there, that all I burned them. I didn't have any. I don't have any of them. Like which like one period like it was there that, so once I just decided to burn it, and I burned them all. Luckily, like Surendran kept them all, and he decided to keep it, and that's how it is here now. So like that, it is like evolving. His drawing style is completely changed now. It is Surendran drawings now. If you see it, it is like a very linear and like a structured drawing, like not like this. These are all like like expressionist. You can say that like that kind of drawing.
Even my drawings also, I lost it. I mean, the bundle of things was there because we never thought that it has any value for that. It's like that. And anyway, then again, we have only the kind of skill that whatever we have a feeling we can express through the drawing. That we achieved, but we never got to construct any language in the early stage. We were struggling for almost 10 years. We struggled to evolve with something. And I remember that when we come to Baroda, what interests us to come to Baroda is one thing is Bhuban was very he came to our college and he took effort to see our work in the even come to hostels to take it out the work and see, and he made comments also, and he was very appreciative and so with that we actually heading towards the Baroda. We never thought that we are all get admission there, because some other people said, these are people, so many people are here already, students studying in Baroda, so you won't get admission there. And not only that, we don't speak English also not properly, so it's very difficult to get an admission. So we just hang around, and finally, the interesting thing is that we all got admission there. And so that is one of the things about Baroda, because they look at the drawings and the work of art. Not, so they choose us. So that is some of the thing, better thing about Baroda. And then, of course, Sheikh Bhai was there. Vivan is also constantly coming there. Even Jairam Patel was there. So they all have a kind of supporting gesture to that. But there again, we thought that these are narrative. As I said, their language is narrative. You want to get out of it actually, from this narration actually. So that is also a struggle actually. It's not an easy thing to get out of that frame.
It was not informal. It was in the sense that there are major few of us like started it and all that, and it's gone to from Baroda it's gone to Kerala. So when Kerala it is a lot of people joined, and not even artists. Many of them are poets, and some of them they don't do anything. So some of them they draw something, and they are not, basically they are not artists. So they are also joined and all that, and that is the point. This tragedy happened, and all this thing. So we had one show in Baroda. That was Anita Dubey wrote that catalog, that is called Question and Dialogue. And another one is in Kerala, which we had in Calicut. And after that, after I think 1 year or something, we had a camp for all of us, that showed our work and all that. That is the time, he committed suicide, that same building, same place. So that's what it happened, and it is actually not. One can say it is formal, and at the level it is a lot of people joined like that. So you can't say that who are all in the group. No, expansion in the sense it is open to all. So this group, anyone can come and join, and like that it was in the later stage it was like that. So We didn't have any restrictions towards that, like, you should not come and you should not enter into this thing. Like, it is, everybody is welcomed, and like that. So
whether what happened to me or whether I joined the radical group or not.
no, it is not there is nothing like that. It is some people are in the group and some people are not there and all that. So it was when we talked to Rimsen and Surendran Nair and all those people, they were not directly in the group, na? Like, that, like, they are not. But they are now. If you look at the picture like that, they are all inside, because there is no particular style or particular drawing style or something, like you can say that this is what radical group is. Actually, their thing also like a radical
No,
group
what
style only.
now what I see is like that. We must understand that all these things are not pre-planned or anything. We have not structured or anything. We just don't, and we don't have any leader or anything to, a godfather or also not there to guide us actually. So we are always fighting and then coming together, then again going further. This is the way it was going. Then naturally, we are all different kind of temperament, different kind of and way of thinking, seeing things. So Krishnamar and some other people, thought that uh, they have to take a different deviation from whatever we come from. It's something like the Communist Party is here. There are so many versions of it. CPI is there, and Naxalites are there, Maoists are there, and some other many groups are there, and they have different ideological positions, standings are there. So they might see it. The other people are revisionists. The other people are compromising. The other people are not working. It's like that. It's an illusion actually. It's not seeing it on the right perspective. And that. So Krishnamar might have seen it like that. For instance, at the time he was arguing for anti-commercial, activities and against markets. Then we told him that he was talking about galleries. So there is hardly any galleries at that time in Delhi. There might be 4 or 5 galleries like Dumal Gallery or the Art Heritage or Kumar Gallery, something like that. And there is not, and they were not making any money or anything, because more they are actually doing it for the passion towards art. That is the only thing they are. In Bombay also is the same thing. The Kamoli Gallery or Pundola and all, they are not making any big money out of selling this work. So then we said it's an not a non-existing issue. And I said, so why should we go for that in a sort of? It is it's not practical. If you want to create art, then you need an economy. Policy of economy. You need money from to create work of art and a larger scale and a bigger scale. So it's needed to that thing. That is what some of my argument. And because I was there studying in my own effort, I was selling my work in galleries or exhibitions. With that money, I am studying there. So I cannot say that the other way. It's not possible. If I go for that, I have to stop study. Even I am studying there, it's not for degree or anything, because in Baroda faculty you get a studio and you get food from the hostel in a cheaper way. So you can continue for their 2 or 3 years, and whether you get degree or diploma. Even Kanaria told me that why you are going from here, you stay back 1 more year, so that will be good for you. So I was staying there. So it's like that. So I cannot. We are not agree with Krishnamar. It's taken a different deviation. But now, when you look back into it, we can see it. Happily we can say that this is all in that perspective. But we have also gone through very painful experiences because there's separation, fighting, and we are going. So that was also, I mean, finally we know that this is also part of an artistic experience to,
I got this
yeah, it's
sense.
like that.
I got this sense talking to Surendran and Rekha in Baroda a long time back that Krishna Kumar took a very extremist position to which a lot of artists did not agree, and the whole Krishna Kumar took an extremist position to which a lot of people did not agree, artists did not agree. For instance, the whole idea that, I mean, I think there was this thing about, I don't know whether Surendran or Rekha who said that, we don't believe in this idea of an artist sitting under a tree without nothing, and trying to function in the world or make a presence in the world. Okay, I was just adding to what you were saying, that kind of situation when he would reject everything from money to commerce to gallery to this to that to, just completely doing away with that system.
No, it was not like that. It was their idea for this thing. I'm not saying that, but it is the Kerala situation was different. Actually, the Kerala, when he was living in a place called Peringotukara. It's a village, and he was staying there. And people used to bring food and all that for that different place and all that. And they were living like that, and they thought that will create a world for themselves, like having food with burgers and all that, and a kind of the art will we will reach art towards them, and we will share all those things, and they will also become an artist. Everybody is an artist, like that. That kind of approach. He used to have that time, around that time, like not like rejecting the whole thing, but that he found like maybe like a mistake, but he found something there, like in the village, like it can happen that way. It can happen like this way, like that. He was trying to do something, with the little things. So that is what happened. It is not like against everything, like totally against and all that. It never happened like that.
This was also the time when the economy was undergoing so many changes. The auction house was coming up, and one of the rest was against Sotheby's auction. Which was actually the first ever auction. But one sees that approach vis-a-vis what we now know of C.K. Rajan's collages in this exhibition done in 92, 96 period. Is another, you see another face of
Rajan's work was later. First time.
That's what
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that now together in that span. So it's a dialogue.
That was the whole idea about, like, that was it was a time, it was a new thing, that Sotheby's auction thing, it happened like that. It's a very rare thing, no? It has never happened like that. So many of us thought like it is a massive attack on art, and living in Kerala and coming out from college and all that. We didn't have that much perspective like that, like it is in a different way and all that. That is what happened. It is not like just an attack like towards everything and all that. So it is, we went and protested, and like we went back home, like nothing happened, after that. So yeah, there are a lot of things like to share with this, because it is after all, like these are all made in 90, like it is made in 1917 to 72. Recent, like it is 2014, or like that. It is like you can see that it is evolving. It is like from one style to another, and all that is evolving. It is always artists gain only. Like it is not, they are not losing anything.
Another thing, when I see this exhibition, and I I thought that one aspect is that all the artists actually uh, got got a kind of basic language of how to draw. I mean, draw means to express something, directly to on the paper or canvas or clay or whatever it is with your hand. I mean, sort of. So, and then that is very much there, and every artist has got that kind of control or mastery over that thing. So that is something, when I look back at it, I mean, I also did a lot of kind of postmodern, I mean, sort of objects and things I made, but still I feel that this is one of the, distinctive quality of this art. And now, when you look at the contemporary world art, you may feel that, we need that kind of thing, more and more actually, because we need to have that thing because it's touching, it is more has this human quality in it, So that is something I felt, good actually, yeah.